Indian Mojo Show!
Welcome, treasure seekers and head crab keepers, to a splendiferous episode 59 of the Jacked Up Indian Mojo Show. As always, I'm Jeremy Brown, joined by Daniel Jones and Jack Gardner. Say hey, fellas.
Howdy.
Hey, fellas.
Excellent. This week, we welcome GIO super user and all-around cool chick Ace13 to the show. We have lots to discuss, including our favorite gals of gaming history. So turn down the lights, turn up your mics, and let Ace bring some class to the place. Let's get this week started. How's everybody doing?
Well, I'm a whole lot classier now that Ace is here.
Yeah.
Right?
All of us are. Daniel?
Same. I'm classier as well. Before we get into the meat of the show, I want to just address something, Jeremy. So I'm just wondering,
Sure.
Were you by any chance hanging out in or around the servers of your local television station recently, putting out warnings for the zombie apocalypse?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Yeah, I figured since you were so prepared, you just had to, will it to happen.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, I know we're little bitty Montana, and I'm sure our local crapola daytime television stations don't have the highest security. But think of it in this perspective. On the same day that North Korea tests a nuclear missile, somebody's able to hack into the emergency broadcast system and put a message on the air for the whole state to see. And just think, if they would have, said that, North Korea has launched a missile at Malmstrom Air Force Base, which is in Great Falls, people would have really freaked out. Thankfully, they only said that the dead are rising from the grave. Be sure to sharpen up your stakes. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, did you get really excited when you saw that?
Well, I didn't see it live. In fact, I was reading Yahoo and the trending things. It said,
yeah, that's where I saw it.
Yeah, it said, emergency alert system hacked, warns of zombies. And then when I clicked on it, it showed the AP in Great Falls. And I'm like, that figures. So, before you rudely interrupted me, Daniel, I wanted to come Ace here, so welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. So how you been?
Pretty good. Yeah, I appreciate the kind words of, all the classy compliments. You guys are worth every penny.
Pretty much kiss the butts of all of our guests. So, so we mean it, but, we don't want to get too overconfident. You got to stay a little bit humble, at least for the first half of the show. But it's really good to have you. I think we're all pretty excited. We've had a couple other gals from GIO on the show before, and they seem to be some of my favorites because it gives a new perspective, and I don't have to listen to Daniel as much, so it works out pretty well.
Yeah, that's ever a problem.
I know, right?
And it's pretty popular. I mean, when we said that you were coming on the show, on Twitter, we got the most responses we've ever gotten about anything regarding the show.
Oh, wow.
You were well liked.
Feels pretty good. No, I'm just kidding. They're good.
You're well liked because you're cool and you're nice to people, so you should take that compliment for what it's worth. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, have you been playing any games this week, Ace?
I'm usually a play one game at a time, unless it's multiplayer mixed in. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty much just been Mirror's Edge, and I think I'm on the last chapter.
Nice.
Of that. Yeah.
How are you liking the platforming in that game?
I really, really like it. I mean, sometimes it's annoying, if you try to grab a pipe or something, I'll miss, and, you have to watch yourself, fall to your death. But it's really fun, though. It really gets your adrenaline going. I like it.
Now, Ace, you also recently replayed Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, and you have a greater appreciation for it now.
I do.
Somehow this is going to turn around on me.
No.
No, it's going to turn around on me.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Because I hate that game.
I know, right?
No, you know what? It's alright, Jack. I respect your opinion. Jeremy, you really need to finish episode 2 before you completely judge it. Because episode 2 is like the best part of the whole thing, right, Ace?
Yeah, it's got some really great moments.
Yep.
Alright, well, I guess I'll finish it someday. Yeah. I didn't dislike it. See, that's the thing with this game. People think I dislike it. I don't. I just didn't see what all the fuss about the greatest story ever told was. It's like that. It's like Clark. It's not the greatest city that ever is or ever will be. It's just cool.
Nerd!
I know, right? Yes, I'm on a Game of Thrones kick. Or a Song of Ice and Fire, to be more accurate. Excellent. So, Daniel, you mentioned you were reviewing Aliens, and you're loving it. Any other games you've been playing?
I didn't mention that, actually, on the show.
Oh, oops, sorry.
I don't think I did.
No, you
but
didn't.
yeah, I am reviewing Aliens.
Reviewing any games, Daniel?
Yes, actually, Jeremy. I'm reviewing Aliens, Colonial Marines. And funny story, we rarely ever actually get hard discs for review copy from the publishers, but we actually did receive a disc from Sega for Aliens, and we got it the day before it came out. But it didn't come to me. It went to somebody else that writes for the site, so she is basically keeping that copy, and I just bought my copy, which I had planned to anyway. But we got the review copy on 360, and I bought a 360 version, and it's the same. So since we got it so late, it's basically we just got the release retail version anyway. So it's not like we got a 2-week early version or anything. So
you got a free game.
Yeah, you did get a free game.
I didn't. She did.
Right.
Well, the game
So yeah.
So
yeah, the game affected.
What's the difference between, besides the obvious, a retail copy and a review copy? Does it say not for resale on the disc, and it's just like this generic black and white label?
Jack would probably know that better than I would.
Well, who are you talking to, Daniel? No, I'm just joking. Jack?
Well, basically, a review disc that's what it means when a game goes gold.
Right.
And they only play in special consoles. You need the consoles, and then you need the discs sent to you, or a lot of times it's getting more common for people to just send you a code that you can redeem.
Hopefully they send it to you a week early so you have enough time to download it.
When you get an early copy of a game, you have to have a debug console to play it usually. So that's why ours came just the day before, and it was a retail version, so it would run on a regular Xbox.
I always thought that when a game went gold, that just meant the master disc was stamped so that they could start making the retail copies. But I've been wrong many times.
I don't know. So anyway, I'm reviewing Aliens, and it's not great.
So it's got hammered so far critically, except for one dude from EGM, and he got hammered, which isn't good.
Yeah.
But anyway, what?
And The Guardian. Nobody's mentioning The Guardian, but The Guardian gave it an 80.
Yeah, they're from the UK.
Yeah.
So what specifically don't you like about it so far?
It's very unpolished. It just doesn't think it should have been released yet. And it's just really dated. It's dated in the same way that Duke Nukem Forever was dated.
Ooh, wow.
The graphics are just not attractive. They're not awful. They're not as bad as Duke Nukem by any means. But because there's some nice lighting, but it really looks like a Doom 3 mod.
Okay.
And it looks like Doom 3. I mean, that's what I would compare it to. So, I mean, it still looks alright, but it's not. It doesn't look like 2013 alright.
I assume Sega was the publisher. Who was the developer? Was it Sega as well?
It was Gearbox.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought that was a Gearbox product.
But wasn't it also partially developed by an out studio?
Yes, it was.
Like something Time.
So it truly does have this crazy Duke Nukem comparison going on. Both developed by another studio and Pitchford's involved. So
well, it's been in development for 7 years. It's ridiculous.
And apparently it's still in development.
Yep.
Hey,
So anyway,
Skyrim DLC for PS3 finally released. That's pretty exciting, right?
If I had Skyrim for PS3, I would be really excited.
Yeah.
Ballpark.
Did it really? And it works?
Well, there was a huge update. I haven't tried it yet. So, ballpark estimate, there was about 4 million PS3 copies of Skyrim sold. How many people do you think will download at least one of the DLC packs that came out today? Or that are coming out next week or two? They're half price.
Are they charging you?
Oh, yeah. It's Bethesda. Of course they are. Horse armor.
Ridiculous.
Half price.
Half price?
Yep.
Oh, well,
That's something.
better. Yeah.
Anybody want to take a guess? I don't have the answer, but...
I'm guessing still I'd say anyone who bought it on PS3 probably will, if they still have it, they'll download it. Especially if it's half price. But I mean, if people really liked Skyrim, they probably already got it on 360 or PC on Steam when it was on sale.
I agree.
They probably already have the DLC.
That's what I did. See, here's what I think is going to happen. I think it's not going to sell a lot of copies, and then, the general consensus will be, well, no wonder they didn't want to put any, effort into it. It wasn't going to sell anyway. And I don't think it's not going to sell copies because people don't like it. It's just been too long, and if you really, really wanted it, you found a different way to play it. Like Jack said.
Yeah?
Like Jack said. Jack's right this week.
I'm always right.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
So, Daniel, have you been playing any other games this week?
No, really, but I did just get an iPad. I inherited it.
Nice.
Because Taryn got a new one. So I got her old one, which, if you have an original iPad, first generation, and you have iOS 5 on it, iOS 5 sounds so bad. It's almost unusable at times. So I inherited that. Yay. But at least I have some games. So I'm planning on diving into Sword and Sorcery.
Jack, what's your gaming week been like? And we'll talk about your awesome article in a little bit.
My gaming week has been pretty dang awesome. I picked up a Nintendo 3DS along with a copy of Fire Emblem Awakening, and I've pretty much been playing that nonstop.
How are the eyes? Are your eyes all right?
My eyes are okay, but they do this weird thing now. Whenever I look at my computer screen sometimes and the lighting is dim, my eyes will try and focus on the screen as if it's the 3DS screen with the 3D on, and it throws off my depth perception. It's really weird. But otherwise, okay. Am I gonna go blind? Am I okay?
It's gonna be okay as long as you don't play more than another 23 minutes. Total. So I would augment. I think that the 3DS has actually a log in it, so just check that every now and then. Have you tried playing the game without the 3D on?
Yeah, I've been doing it without the 3D on. My vision is kind of slightly skewed. Technically, I have pretty terrible eyes. they're right on the border of needing glasses and not needing glasses. So I don't wear glasses, but I could wear glasses if I wanted to. And
why don't you wear glasses?
You should get some of
wear
the
glasses.
big black ones like all the NBA players are wearing that don't even have lenses in them.
Yeah.
But my right eye is weaker than my left eye, and so after using the 3D for a long period of time, I start getting double vision on the 3D screen, just because my right eye gets tired faster than my left eye. So I turn it off.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I tend to do it about half 3D and half off 3D when I play the 3DS. So I think you're doing it just right, Jack.
Yeah.
Have you put anything in besides Fire Emblem?
Why would I want to do that?
I'm just trying to start a conversation, dude. Come on.
But seriously, I don't know how it is for most people, but I really get into Fire Emblem series, and I know I'm in the minority. But that game really sold me on the 3DS. Like, that is the game that I got the 3DS to play. It's a perfect example of how, the games sell the system, not the system selling just because it's a new system. And I've loved pretty much every single Fire Emblem game that's come to the United States, and I think it's a crime that we only have gotten, we've only really gotten 3 or 4. Yeah, we've gotten 4. And 2 of them were on the Game Boy Advance. And the one that came out on the Nintendo DS was just a revamped port of the NES Fire Emblem. And it was pretty terrible. So it's 10 years since the last good Fire Emblem game came out. And I'm really excited about this one.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've already put in around 20 hours into the game, so read into that how you will.
And have you been able to find the soundtrack? I know you were looking for it.
You helped me find it. It's around $100, and I think that's pretty ridiculous for.
It's only $5 a track. I mean,
I guess if you really break it down, that might be like.
I know heroin junkies that have paid less money for their tracks. That's just.
But I mean, it just seems to me that $100 for a video game soundtrack is really, really steep. Especially when you can. I mean, if you were an unethical person, you could easily pirate it from somewhere for completely free.
That's true.
But anyway,
yeah.
I have the game, and the game has really great music in it, so I just listen to the game music.
Well, speaking of awesome games that are RPG-ish with great music, I still think everybody in the world should play Ni no Kuni. So that's really all I've been playing this week.
It does have good music, from what I've heard.
Yes, it does.
So you're delving into it and you're enjoying it?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I like it a lot.
Is it kind of like Pokemon? I've heard
it is very similar to Pokemon. In fact, the creatures, and I've never really played a lot of Pokemon, but my kid is a Poke fan, so I know a little bit about it. But yeah, the creatures definitely remind me of Pokemon, and of course, you get out into the world and there's semi-random battles. Like, you can see the creatures, but if you're even anywhere near them, they'll come running at you. And basically, you have no choice but to fight them. Daniel, last week you had mentioned that there was all those, confusing things on the side to try to maneuver. It's, again, I haven't played Pokemon, but as far as RPGs go, it's really not that complicated, in my opinion, so far. It breaks down the different actions you can do pretty easily. You can just select between, your normal fighting actions, spells, defense, without having to know exactly what you're doing. So I think it's accessible for non-traditional JRPG fans.
All right. Good. Well, after I'm done with Aliens, I plan on probably trading that in and getting so either XCOM or Ni no Kuni is probably going to be my next purchase.
XCOM! Do XCOM!
Yeah, I'm leaning towards XCOM.
Play that game. You should get XCOM and we'll do some co-op, or some fighting amongst each other.
How come you never wanted to fight with me, Jeremy?
I don't have it on 360 there, Jack.
I have it on PC.
Oh, well, I don't have it on PC. I have it on PS3.
Oh.
Well, I'll get it on PS3 if I get it then.
Okay, no pressure. So, Ace.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yes.
Did you happen
Hooray!
to listen to our Game of the Year show where we all talked about how much we loved The Walking Dead?
I actually didn't listen to that one because
I'm heartbroken.
that was the only game that I played from last year. So I just wanted to be safe and figured I'd go back to it eventually.
I see. But you've played The Walking Dead now, right?
Yes, I'm a big fan of it.
Excellent. I can never get enough talking about that game. But what was what was your overall feeling when you got done with the game?
Oh gosh, man, so many emotions. It was funny because Heavy Rain is another game that one of my sisters watched me play through the whole time. So, we would have like the little dialogue prompts and I would be like, oh man, I should do this. And she'd be like, no, do this. We'd like debate about it. But, I choose whatever I feel like was best.
Girl?
But, what to say? It was just a great, probably one of the best stories I think I've ever encountered in a game. I had the biggest lump in my throat at the end. I couldn't believe it. But I could just gush about it. But sad that it was done. But it was a beautiful ending, though, I have to say.
Yeah, I think many of us had lumps in our throats.
Some of us had little lumps of water coming out of our eyes. Do you play games a lot with your sisters watching you?
Not usually. I'll say sometimes. Like, for example, Dragon Age, Uncharted, Heavy Rain, The Walking Dead. Not every game, though. But those ones, I'd have to say, yeah.
So do they prefer to watch, or do they play with you, or do they not play games at all and just are fascinated when you play?
Well, it's funny. I have 4 sisters, so we all have our own different preferences and games that we like. We all generally play something, but it's just, we're all different. There's some common ground, like Uncharted, myself and 2 other sisters really like. Heavy Rain was like all around, everybody liked it. That's like for more current ones. I have to say, like when we were younger and we would play like on our N64, we all pretty much liked the same thing, but as we've gotten older, it kind of changed.
Okay.
So you're like a whole gaming family. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, my mom is my parents really like Diablo and some like random iPad games, but my mom is just mostly, I guess, more of like social games, but everybody kind of plays something, which is neat. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, your family is now that much more awesome. I always thought they were cool from what I knew, but now they're just bueno. Wait, that's not Italian. Anyway, they're cool. I forgot what I was going to say. Daniel, save me.
Alright, last week, Ace, we talked about our hopes and fears for the next generation. And we talked about we want to see, we don't want games to be restricted so that you can't buy used games on there. What are some of your hopes and fears for the next generation?
Hopes and fears. That's a good question. Well, I know one thing I would really like to see. I don't know how possible it is. Some kind of like backward compatibility, just so I can get through the games that I haven't even gotten through yet on a new system.
Right.
Yeah, because there's just a lot of games. I just make a list and I keep adding to it. Like, okay, I want to play this, and this, and I'm still working on. I'm still working on the list. I have many lists. So yeah, if there could be that compatibility, I'd really like that. I'm trying to think. I can't really think of any big fear. The price tag, maybe?
Yeah, that's definitely one to consider.
Yeah, that was a big topic of discussion. That
was.
I mean, I've been texting Rob Kehoe about Aliens, actually, right now while we've been on the show. And
Whoa.
I know, I'm sorry. He just brought up a point that I brought up last week. He's like, I really want to rent Aliens, but there's nowhere to rent it. He's like, I just hope that next gen systems have some kind of digital streaming rental service, and that's what I want next generation. Like, I do
too. I think it'll happen. I really do.
Yeah.
So speaking of hopes and fears, sorry Daniel, I didn't mean to interrupt. Well, we happen to know somebody that wrote an article for a major publication regarding the hopes and fears of a certain video game. Jack, you know anything about this?
I might have written something about hopes and fears for Dragon Age 3 Inquisition in official Xbox magazine.
Wait, I thought that article was about Dynasty Warriors 13.
That's gonna come soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Don't worry about it. That's gonna be out. I'll let you in on some insider secrets. Dynasty Warriors 13 is coming out like next week.
Holy crap.
Sweet.
Yeah, and they're actually going to be rolling out like the ones between 6 and 13, one every day until 13 comes out.
Nice.
Great.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so in all seriousness, tell us about this experience, Jack. I think it seems pretty cool. And I have one criticism before you go. It's not of you. But $9 for a flippin' magazine? Come on, that's ridiculous.
Right? They used to come with demo discs, too.
I know, I was like,
I did not get a demo disc.
Find it.
But guys, that plastic cover and little piece of cardboard in the back, it's not gonna make itself.
Are they all the same? Mine was a picture of Joker from Injustice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant to.
Alright, so Mr. Pulitzer Prize winning, or potential winning, Xbox official magazine journalist, tell us all about it.
Well, where should I start?
How about how you even found the opportunity, how you plagiarized my article and asked me to write it for you, you know.
Well, I was put in touch with the editor-in-chief of official Xbox magazine. Her name's Fran, by Kim Wallace at Game Informer, and we started exchanging emails, and I just started pitching her ideas. And initially, the first freelance piece I was going to do for her was going to be about Halo 4 in esports, and we just couldn't connect right on that one. And basically, the window for it being relevant we missed it. So
Connect with a K?
What?
Connect with a K?
No.
Oh, okay.
But So I started pitching other ideas, and eventually she really liked the idea of doing a Dragon Age 3 related piece, and since they hadn't really consolidated all of the information that had been circulated about what was going to be in Dragon Age 3, I pitched them an idea that basically, consolidate all the information about Dragon Age 3, and, I have played the first and the second one multiple times, so I guess you could say after spending 300 hours playing Dragon Age 1 and 2, I'm kind of a fan. I love those games to death, so I'm a hardcore fan. I'm not just kind of a fan. And so I went off and just wrote about what I think people would really like to see coming from Dragon Age 3 Inquisition, and what people would really hate seeing coming from Dragon Age Inquisition.
Well, I don't want you to go into specifics because I want people to go out and buy the magazine to support you.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick one of your biggest hopes and one of your biggest fears, and summarize it real quick, what would it be?
At the end of Dragon Age Origins, I don't think it's too big of a spoiler.
That game's been out years ago, it's okay.
Yeah, there's this option that you have to basically create this demon god child, and that's kind of a big deal if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're trapping the soul of a dark god inside of an unborn child, and then as part of the deal for this arrangement, instead of your character dying, the baby has the soul of this god.
Yeah.
And then the lady you conceive the child with takes the baby and disappears. And there's some extra DLC that kind of goes into what happened to her later, but at the end of that, she also disappears. So I would really, really like to know what the consequences of having a god-child demon thing running around in the Dragon Age universe would be.
I think that's fair.
I think that's a valid question. And the other thing is, I would just really, really hate for the decisions that you made in Dragon Age 1 and 2 to have no impact on the third game. And given how the choices in Dragon Age Origins carried over into Dragon Age 2, I think there's some cause for concern there, because some big things happened in Dragon Age 1 and 2, depending on your choices. And having them translate into 3 would be really, really great. But I don't know if it's going to happen.
It would seem strange that it wouldn't, I guess, maybe just because of the Mass Effect theory or connection. But yeah, I think that those are definitely something I'd like to see as well, resolved. Or, that first part resolved, I'd like to see that second feature in the third one for sure.
Yes.
Either way, I don't really know the Dragon Age series that well. It was still a good read.
Thank you.
Yeah, I liked the layout. Dylan, my son, was more impressed with the artwork and the layout. And then I told him that you probably weren't responsible for that.
Yeah.
And he went back to playing Minecraft.
I wish I was responsible for that layout, because it's really neat sending in just this Word document, really.
Yeah.
And then seeing it translated after it's been all artistified by graphic designers and whatnot, and just putting in this Word document, and then it comes out with this beautiful, artwork and dragons and stuff all around. It's just really cool.
Ace,
Artistified.
yes, Ace. Do you think artistified is a word?
it's original.
I like that. Wow, that's a great answer.
I studied English. I have a degree in English. I can do with English words what I want.
And people history.
It's like splendiferous.
Yeah.
So,
Splendid.
do you think you left the door open to do some more freelance work for?
Well, I'm actually submitting either tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm sending them another freelance piece, actually. So
Puzzle.
I already have a second one in the works with them.
So do you think this could maybe work up to a staff job eventually?
Uh,
What do you think we can do to help that? Can I email that lady a billion times, or would that hurt you?
well, it would probably end up hurting.
Okay. How about one email? Not say lauding you, just like say, man, that Dragon Age piece was really awesome. I enjoyed it.
Well, feel free to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the piece I'm sending them this time because it's quite a bit longer and has a couple interviews in it, and it's good stuff.
So you don't have to specifically answer, but do you get like paid by the word or by the article? How does that work?
By the article. Basically, I'll pitch an idea, and if it's accepted, they'll suggest a fee for the article, and then give a word count.
Can you like double it? They say we'll give you $5,000. You say I'll take 10. Does that work?
No. Maybe if I was a big name like Adam Sessler, maybe I could pull that off. Maybe, but probably not.
Someday you'll be bigger than Adam Sessler, Jack.
That's impossible.
I don't know. He looks.
You just call him fat.
Pretty short.
Whoa,
You call him
Jeremy,
Adam Sessler fat.
this is going into personal territory.
Yeah, I have the utmost respect for you. Well, I think that's cool, and I know that we're all very proud of you, Jack.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You keep getting these freelance pieces, I'm just going to have to buy a subscription because I can't pay whatever 9 times 12 is. So.
Yeah. I've bought 2 of those damn OXMs this year. I should have already just gotten a subscription. It really would.
Didn't even buy 5 copies for his mother. Can you believe that?
Wow.
I'm a terrible person. What can I say?
Oh.
Yeah.
A terribly poor person.
I was just going to say, he hasn't gotten his check from them yet, so.
That's how they stay in business. They just tear at your heartstrings and make you think that they're actually going to pay you, and you put in all this work, and then they say, oh, our publisher changed, and now we can't pay you.
My bank actually rejected the first attempt
of
them.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. They tried to put in the check, and my bank rejected it because they were like, why are
we don't want no money.
I didn't understand.
They probably thought it was like some sort of laundering scam. Or if it's Bank of America, they tell you what you can buy and not buy anyway, so.
Well, I don't know about any launderings, but I do know a couple pretty good laundry scams.
Yeah? So, Chad?
They're clean and easy.
Oh. And on that note, let's do your topic of the night, if we have one. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we wanted to talk about women in gaming, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking characters, but we could talk about journalists or whatever you want. It's
Well, yeah, let's stick to characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so everybody name their favorite female character.
Okay, you got to tell who to go when.
Ace can go first because she's a lady.
I'm gonna go with Elena Fisher.
You stole mine. That's not even fair.
That's a good pick. So that's yours too, Jeremy.
Well,
You can have the same pick. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm also going to say Jade from Beyond Good and Evil.
Okay.
Nice.
That's a good pick too.
What about you, Daniel?
I would have to say Alex Vance.
shocked at that picture.
Yeah, I know that's shocking, but yeah, she's just a really strong female, and like you said in your blog, Ace, she's a female that's not just there to be a love interest. She actually drives the plot forward, really. And you said in your comment, Jeremy, you care more about her than Gordon Freeman because, yeah, in my opinion, Half-Life 2's story is really her story. So, yeah.
Well, maybe I did get it after all that.
My favorite female character in gaming is Bonnie McFarlane.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
From Red Dead Redemption.
I thought so. Can when you really think about it?
I thought she was like the best because like she's there and she's a strong, powerful woman who, you know, gets things done, and she's not there to be eye candy, but she's a good-looking lady, and she's not a romantic interest because John Marston has a family already who he loves very much, and so she's just a platonic, friendly female character, which is not something we see very much in video games.
If she were
Usually
born 100 years later, she would drive a Dodge.
right.
Because God made
Right.
it. See?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Wait, are you saying that she was made by Dodge?
No, God made the game.
I think.
Oh.
Doesn't she live somewhere near Dodge City? Maybe?
Oh, my goodness.
Alright. Getting out of hand.
Let's dodge this
We
question.
just evolved this conversation. It was
That's what we
all
do best, Daniel.
sophisticated. Yeah.
So, considering we have a real life girl that likes video games.
We have a girl.
Yeah, right?
She
so hey, besides, well, I want you to talk about Elena and then go into some of your other favorite characters, but I think we both have definitely the utmost respect for Elena. Why are you so to speak, Team Elena as opposed to Team Chloe?
Oh, well, see, oh man, I think Chloe is awesome too.
Yeah, that doesn't make her bad.
Yeah, just had to get that out there. But I guess I kind of wrote about it before, but I can kind of see myself in Elena a little bit. But she's really determined. She's really resourceful. I mean, there is kind of like she's a love interest for Nate, but she's not just there. You know, she's there for the plot too. She's important. She brings out the good in Nate. Helps save the day. She can hold her own, and she's just really strong. I like her.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
So Dan, why Alex over anybody else? What is it about her that, I know you've already touched on it, but is there even a close second?
One of the other things I really like about Alex is that she's mixed race, and it's not something they really ever touch on. It's not something that like identifies her. It's just there. It's just something that she is, like, because it's not a big deal. And she always wears jeans and like a pretty rugged top, like nothing revealing. Like she's never sexualized except in photoshopped pictures on the internet. And
I'm sexualized Photoshop pictures on the internet, for heaven's sake.
Wait.
I am too.
You're welcome.
And yeah, she's a great character. I don't know.
So,
But why is she a great character? Let's dig into this a little bit more.
Oh my goodness. What, are you serious?
No, she puts the interest. I think all these characters we're talking about put the interest of others before themselves. You know, Jade running an orphanage, Alex trying to help keep the world intact.
And her father.
Yeah.
Her relationship with her dad. You just shut up, Jack.
I think now might be time to talk about Lara Croft.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was trying to think of.
Good idea.
Because it's been kind of marketed as this hardcore, you know, she's not like they're saying she's not sexualized and she can take care of herself, but the trailers kind of came out and just this woman being basically beaten up and like some implied sexual rape.
Assault.
That's what I was looking for.
Not to mention her boobs are flying all over the place in those trailers.
Really? I thought that's what they were supposed to be trying to, like...
I thought they were trying to tone that down.
Yeah, I thought
they're trying not to, but, like, all those shots of her falling and her cleavage just, like, staring you in the face. Maybe it's just me. Maybe just because I have wandering eyes, but it was pretty glaring to me.
So, what are our thoughts about Tomb Raider and the reboot?
Well,
Tomb Raider new and old.
Game. I think that it's kind of, you know, I do think it's going from one extreme to the other. I liked the old Tomb Raider games, and sure, Lara Croft was obviously, you know, not something that would likely exist in any real world. I think that she was also a strong female character that they just happened to use, you know, some enhanced body features to help sell games. But I think once people played the games, I think that most people didn't see her as just a, you know, an object. I think people, at least I, really appreciated her, you know, her history, her intellect, her love for artifacts, and her education. But the new Lara Croft, at first I didn't like at all, and it had nothing to do with, I just get used to things like most people, and I don't like change. But it's certainly grown on me, but I do wonder if they're trying too hard to be like the complete opposite, and maybe it could possibly backfire. I don't know.
Ace, what are your thoughts?
Well, I have to admit, I never played any old Tomb Raider game, so anything I know about it is just from what I've heard, or just seen, like, pictures and stuff. So, I mean, you kind of, Mojo, said some things that I agree with. I think that, yeah, she was hypersexualized, but she was independent, like you said. She spoke different languages. She liked adventuring. You know, was independent. All good qualities. As for the new one, I guess because I haven't played any of the older games. I mean, I know it's kind of it was, like you said, it was controversial that she was getting so beat up and stuff like that, and she seemed kind of, you know, like you wanted to protect her or something, but I mean, I think it's kind of a different strength because, yeah, she's getting beat up and everything, but it seems like it's a good way to show, like, a different kind of strength. Like, she's enduring so much, and, you know, she's surviving, and I could see it as being, like a pretty cool, kind of like prequel. Like, this is, like, her at the beginning, and then, you know, if they have a different game, like, advancing it more, I have a good feeling about it. So I'm fairly optimistic. I think it's a good step in the right direction.
Ah, well, trust your instinct. I like that.
Daniel?
Yeah, I agree. I see it as like a Batman Begins type of deal. Like, they have to kind of put her off at this weird level where she's very different than what we know, and she'll work her way up to being what we're used to for Lara Croft, and hopefully, the new, 100% Lara Croft, when she finally gets to be what we remember, hopefully we'll appreciate that more and care more about that than her cup size. And I think one of the interesting things about the new one is, I've seen the first hour of gameplay and stuff, and one of the important things to note is that she's on this island, and she's basically saving everybody. She's saving all her friends and everybody, and they're all relying on her, including a lot of the men that are on this ship that's stranded on this island. So it looks neat, and I have faith that they'll figure it out and pull it off.
And what about you, Jack?
I don't know. I'm a bit more cautious, I guess, in how I'm thinking of the reboot, because I remember seeing the trailer for it when E3 rolled around, and just thinking to myself, it seemed like it seemed to me like it was, and I don't think I'm thinking of the right term, but it seemed like objectification, but going the opposite way.
Okay.
And when they say you want to protect her, it almost says to me like she can't protect herself. And I know that might sound kind of silly, but I don't know.
That's just bad choice of words.
It gave me a weird, not good feeling about it, and it hasn't really gone away with anything else that I've seen about it. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope that it's a great game, but I feel like if she was really as great and strong a female protagonist, like we've been talking about, then she probably would have made it into one of our lists, or one of our top
two.
women. Because if I think of even my top 10 women in gaming, she wouldn't be in it, I don't think.
Interesting. So, a couple games that are coming out in the near future that are going to at least have, their characters are yet to be determined by history, but they will be in there. I'm thinking of Bioshock Infinite with Elizabeth and The Last of Us with Ellie. Long term, who do you think will have the stronger impacts on gaming history as far as the role of a woman? And it's kind of weird to say Ellie because she's this young girl, but she's living in this world where she is in fact a woman at this point because life has pretty much made it that way,
Oh, I'd definitely say Ellie, just because that kind of relationship dynamic is not something we see in video games ever.
Although we just saw it in The Walking Dead, kind of.
But yeah, it's kind of different, just a little bit, because she's in The Walking Dead. Clementine is a child,
right? And
in The Last of Us, she's not like a little girl.
Yeah.
She's a girl.
She's dropping F-bombs and not afraid to shoot people. I think that, well, what are your thoughts, Ace?
I couldn't agree more. I think Ellie will have a greater impact. I think just seconding what you said, Jack, I think that, or Mojo, I think you might have said it just now, she's like a smart aleck, and just from what I've seen of her, Naughty Dog in general just does a great job with character development, and just from the little clips I've seen, she just, jumps right off the screen. She's tough, and I can't really think of too many people her age in a game, like in that kind of situation. So I think it's a really good chance for her to, show how strong she is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
flip side.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Daniel.
No, I agree. I'm with you guys on Ellie.
I mostly just wanted an excuse to talk about The Last of Us. So.
Well, I mean, on the flip side, I've been purposely shielding myself from information about BioShock Infinite because I want it to be fresh.
Yeah, as have I.
But what's the name of the girl, the lady in that game?
I believe it's Elizabeth.
Elizabeth to me just seems like another princess in a tower go kind of thing.
Mm.
I don't know if that's the case. I might be totally wrong because I haven't been watching anything besides her reaching out a window as you fall and there are rose petals. I mean, I could be terribly wrong, but it just seems to me like just another one of those scenarios.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's almost a setup, because I kind of agree. She seems so, manipulative, really, just initially. And perhaps that's just the way it is. But maybe, maybe she'll have this big... What?
Sorry, she almost seems like she has some different motives, and there's some secrets that you don't know about her. And so she might be a little bit more of an interesting character. But who knows?
I would agree with that. So is there any last second people that you want to mention as far as women in gaming that perhaps we overlooked?
Well, I just mentioned The Walking Dead, and Clementine is without a doubt.
Yeah, I think that I completely agree. I think that's one character that will stick with me forever, for sure.
Yeah.
So what about like Bayonetta? Ace. I mean, a lot of people think of her as a really strong female character, but there's no doubt that it's over the top as far as her, her outfits and her hair and that sort of stuff.
Do her outfits really count as outfits, though? They're made out of her hair.
That's true.
That's an actual question. Are those clothes or?
I don't have the answer, Jack. I don't know.
Hair. Is it a hairstyle? Just really elaborate?
Possibly.
Important questions.
It is. I think Princess Zelda in most games deserves an honorable mention. Except for like Spirit Tracks. She's a snotty little princess in that one.
Oh, she's actually my number 3, especially if we're talking about Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Tetra in Wind Waker is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But sorry, Ace, you were going to talk about Bayonetta.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't played that game, so again, it's kind of just what I've, I guess, learned online from it. But I think correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it that when she fights or something, doesn't her hair outfit, clothing come off or something?
Yeah.
So, I mean, my biggest thing with that is why not just have, her kick butt with clothes on, or keep that hair outfit on, but, stay clothed. I mean, I don't think you should have to, I guess, your strength and your looks,
Yeah.
I thought that was unnecessary.
To be fair, that is a Sega game, right? If I'm not mistaken. Like Japanese and kind of crazy over the top.
Whoa, now we're getting racist here? Is that what we're doing?
Hey, you know what I mean. Knock it up. I guess maybe I was. I apologize to any Japanese people. Or Sega, for that matter. Because we all know Sonic, he can get pretty crazy at times, too.
Whoa.
I know.
Now you're anti-animal?
Now I just stopped. I'm not too terribly far behind.
He is always chasing that tail.
Ew.
Leave it up to you. Okay, so one quick question, or one thoughts on this. Commander Shepard as a female character is awesome, but do you think the fact that, you can choose kind of takes away from that? Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily takes away from that, but I think the fact that the game is mostly advertised with a male lead, and the fact that there is that agency that players can choose between one or the other, I think really it makes it more of a question mark as far as, like, is Commander Shepard a strong female character if Commander Shepard can also be a male character?
Right.
And that's really what the question comes down to for me.
Yeah.
I think Commander Shepard's a great female character, but I mostly play with a male Shepard, so for me, I always think of Commander Shepard as male.
Okay.
Yeah, when I think about, like, the females I liked in that series, Liara is the one that comes to mind, because I always played as a male. So
I played through as both, and I agree. I associate it more with the male Commander Shepard, but I think it's an interesting game because it can, well, obviously for lots of reasons, but for, I think, the fact that most people do play as a male, and I think the fact that the female Commander Shepard is still such a strong character does speak volumes. I think it can overcome a lot of that, and I think that just goes to show the strength of not just, that female character, but that entire game. And I think people like Liara kind of add credence to that. They kind of help, bring to the forefront that in those years that there's not very big of a gap between men and women as far as their, Miranda as well. Physical abilities and able to lead and, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Ace?
Don't stone me, but I haven't played any Mass Effect game yet.
Yeah!
Are you interested in playing them?
What?
Are you interested in playing them? I mean, if you get the chance, is it something that you think you would like?
Yeah, they're on my list. But, yeah, I just haven't gotten around to them yet. But I definitely plan to.
Okay.
So is GLaDOS a female character or not? Anybody?
I was just going to ask a similar question. Is Liara a female character or not?
Oh, that's totally true.
Because
Yes, she's a female.
technically her species is neither.
Right,
Oh.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And technically GLaDOS is a robot, so can we call GLaDOS even a female character?
Yes, because she was made in the image of the secretary, Cave Johnson's secretary.
Cave Johnson.
Yes.
I'm serious.
I know.
She is a female
The
character.
conversation about strong, awesome female characters, and Cave Johnson comes into the play. I love it.
Alright, we should get to our shout-outs.
Well, I also just wanted to talk about, what about silent female protagonists?
Worthless.
Are they
Oh,
like Chell from
Portal.
Portal? Is she a good character if she's silent?
Daniel.
I mean,
Well, Samus is silent too, and you like her, so...
right, but you can see Samus. Literally in
Yeah.
Portal, there's not a single time you can see Chell except if you're doing the whole portal thing where you can see yourself.
Use the gun just right.
Chell isn't like a strong character at all.
I think she's a
she could be a
man. Really.
What?
I think she's just a means to an end. I don't think that there's...
Yeah.
And I think that's one reason why, like, a Portal movie wouldn't really be that great, featuring Cho. But she's memorable. I mean, I can't think the game as anybody else. Now that know what I think about it. Except for maybe Peabody and Atlas.
And Wheatley.
And Wheatley, of course. Yes.
So basically every other character in that game is more memorable than the character that you play as.
Yes, and okay, fair enough.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that was a good conversation.
Yeah.
You all agree?
Conversation successful.
Yes.
Yep.
So, Daniel, you say you want to move on to the shout-outs?
Yeah, I think it's about time.
Okay. I'm fine with that. Who wants to?
All right.
All right. Well, that was awkward. So, this week, my Jacked Up Indian Mojo Show community shout-out goes to Adam M. Woolley for his blog titled, Well, That Was Awkward. And it's funny. It's clever. He's a great blog writer from what I've seen so far. And it kind of talks about different situations in games that become somewhat uncomfortable if your children or your spouse or your friends or anybody happens to see you. The one that I'll mention that he points out is where Cloud in Final Fantasy VII has to dress and drag to sneak into the mansion to get this dude to give up the goods on Tifa. And I fully admit I actually really enjoyed that part of that game. First, I'm not a fanboy. Uh-oh.
What happened?
Are you guys all there?
Yeah.
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 Oh, it just got real quiet all of a sudden.
Well, that was awkward.
That was awkward.
Daniel.
M. Woolley, good job.
My shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Sorry.
Shout out.
Shout out goes to Draco for his blog, What Dead Space 3 Learned from RPGs. It's extremely in-depth, and he talks about everything that Dead Space has borrowed from the RPG genre through to Dead Space 3, which really, Dead Space 3, from everything I've seen of it, is very RPG-ish.
Oh, wow.
It has a lot. So, it's really extensive blog. Go check it out. It's well done. Well formatted, too. I like the way he formatted it. So, good job, Draco.
I praise indeed for Draco coming from Indy Jones.
Yep.
So we'll save the best for last, so Jack, you get to go next.
All right. This week, my shout out is going to Saint again. Stop writing really great things so I can shout out other people, Saint. But I really liked his blog, Hunger Games plus Minecraft equals win. Where basically he talks about this whole community that's sprung up that plays a modified version of Minecraft that's basically the Hunger Games. And for people who don't really know what that is, basically it's competitive. A bunch of people start in Minecraft in a circle, and at the start of a buzzer, they all go, and the goal is just to be the last one standing. So you can find weapons and armor and food out in the wilderness, and
that totally reminds me of this book I read once.
It probably would. And you fight other people, and there are booby traps everywhere that...
Now that's just too freaky. That's more than a coincidence.
I mean, where would they have possibly gotten that idea?
Panem?
But yeah, it's fun, so if you're interested, or if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to check out his blog so you can learn more about it. Educate yourself.
My son plays Minecraft Hunger Games when I let him.
Minecraft is such a awesome game that stuff like that can just happen.
Yeah, it's like a toolbox. You can really just do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
People have made entire like games inside of Minecraft. That
Remember
you can
the
download as a
like
map.
one of the first things I ever saw recreated in Minecraft that got me paying attention to it was the marker from Dead Space 2. Or maybe it was even Dead Space 1. But ever since then, I've just been
Well.
amazed.
There's a marker in both games, so.
Okay, thanks for making me look stupid in front of our guest, Daniel. Thanks a lot.
Jerk.
Really appreciate it. So, good job, Saint. And Ace, last but certainly not least, who was your Jacked Up Indian Mojo Show community? Shout out for the week go to.
Okay, well, mine
Shout
goes
out.
to.
Shout out.
Mine goes to Asherman3000 for his Why You Should Always Read Multiple Reviews post. It's a simple, concept about basically being personally responsible for, the games that you choose to play or buy. And I thought it was really fitting because all the time, so many like Game Informer editors or other reviewers, thrown under the bus for their criticism. And, the comment section, it's really fun place, a lot of stupidity. So,
By fun place, you mean post-apocalyptic wasteland where every man's for himself.
Yes.
Exactly. So I just thought it was, a nice little refreshing slap in the face for people that think that, you should put reviewers on a pedestal and take everything that they say to heart because, no one's going to know your preferences better than yourself. So have a broad range of sources and just trust your gut.
Wow. I think I shouted out the same blog last week, but you said it so much better than me. That's awesome.
She totally did.
Now I feel, man, I swear.
It's okay.
No,
you
that's okay.
need to trust your gut.
You explained it better than he did.
Yeah, much better.
Oh, man.
Daniel hasn't even finished editing, so he could just cut that whole thing out.
Daniel.
And I didn't even exist, which you'd like to do anyway. But, yes, Ashley writes some great blogs.
I have a backup one I could use too, if you want.
You too. I do it all the time. So since you're our guest, what is your second one?
Well, I think this one was more recent. It was by David Chandler, Video Game Violence, the Media, and a Thing Called Realism.
Yep.
He writes really awesome stuff, but I think this one in particular was probably one of the best pieces I've heard about the whole, violence and video game debate. He growing up, how he used to, he learned to use a gun, he went hunting, and he realized how much of a responsibility killing, using a weapon really is.
Mm-hmm.
And, just how cold it is, to kill something. Deer, not another person. So I just thought he made a great point that games aren't very realistic when it comes to violence. Like, that would be too disturbing. So people have it wrong when they think that.
Right. I like David's blogs. He does a good job of
Yeah, he's great.
Providing this point very well, I think. So, excellent.
All right.
Who, me?
I said all right.
Oh, I thought I was all right. Okay.
Are you all right?
I am all right, Daniel. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that.
You better
right.
rested than you were last week?
Can't you tell?
I can, but I just wanted to ask you as a courtesy. But
I appreciate
now I don't even want to know. You can stuff your sorries in a sack, mister.
I'm feeling better this week than I was last week and the week before, so thank you for your concern, Jack. And I have a sack pretty full of sorries already, but I think I can fit one more in on your account.
I appreciate it.
I do what I can when I can. It's not much.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna stuff this podcast in a sack.
Okay.
That was a good segue. Come on.
And hopefully we'll have it up on Podomatic soon.
You know what, Jack? You can just go stuff yourself in a sack.
I am in a sack.
Really?
How do you like them apples?
What do you like, Lady Gaga? Sort of like embryo.
What I do in my free time is none of your business.
Thank you so much, Ace, for coming on the show. It was a pleasure having you on to class up the joint. And thank you, Jeremy and Jack, for being your handsome selves.
I have to throw you a bone once in a while.
Yep. You know. All right, well, I'm Daniel Jones. You stay classy, Game Informer.
Thank you for stopping by. Please cast your ballots as you exit the door.
I love strong women.
Don't we all?